comfortable Luna and Streak on the now. Whereas on the other side, we're going to see a little bit more core control with WEeeee going to be on the patented X with the Kai midfield backed up by that Juno goalie. So this is going to be pretty interesting little exchange. I have a feeling it's going to be a very explosive game as we have the ZENTARO, we have the Juno, we have the Luna to fly in. And we'll have to see if things get taken here as the first goal barrier does get taken off fairly early, and the second one follows shortly after as WEeeee finds that one. He almost goes for the strike war, but Merchant gets a great strike war win, but he can't do it 2 times in a row because the Giga Blast is there to knock him back into his own net, and Weeeeee's with a commanding first point.
Yeah, a really good play from the side of Weeeeee's, just forcing that core all up into Merchant's face on that Luna. And as you know, the Luna just as a character doesn't do a great job of holding it down. You really have to practice those strikes. You gotta place those strikes really effectively. And against that X, it's gonna be pretty hard to when he's up standing in your face and just blocking all your abilities. But for the time being, Merchant has been doing a great job. And even though that first goal went in, the side of Bozo Bunch is looking still pretty comfortable.
Yeah, looking still comfortable. Streak going to be getting a little bit of pressure dealt to him, but he managed to dodge a lot of that utility and actually runs forward with that core flip and finds the shot. Not really much that Weeeeee's could do. And a great little counterplay from Streak, dodging that X primary and just running forward for that power play. Going to be setting his team up for success here as they go on to the third point. Dropleto taking a big chunk of damage early and now is looking very scared as the X Maximus might be looking to take him out soon, but Drop does a great job of evading everything he needs to. Carmine with that flip is going to look to move in here, but Zaxmac actually takes the midfield role here for a time being and tries to keep the core forward with the slimes as much as possible. And now Carmine with the flip doesn't really get anything for it as Streak has that proximity drone to keep it out. But a great little KO there actually on the Merchant from WEeeee, going to be giving a power play to his team, but shortly after getting taken out for himself, at least the Weeeeee's get that barrier compensation for now, and they get back their goalie in Merchant for the time being. So WEeeee coming back online as well. The power play going to be giving Weeeeee's an open barrier while the Bozo Bunch not going to be getting too much quite yet.
Yeah, and now it's all up to the side of Weeeeee's. They have their barrier up. We're going to be able to see if WEeeee, just right there with that primary, or with that bull rush into the strike, is going to be able to redirect it into the goal just like that. Some really good defense we're seeing coming from Zaxmac, as some may know, role swapped in between seasons as well. Just like Vaughn here, we got all the role swappers in this block, and really good defense, as I was saying, just right onto the other team, the team side of Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, Bozo Bunch struggling with the defense. When you have Merchant on your team, it's definitely no surprise you're going to be a powerhouse offense, and you're going to have to put in a little extra work on the defense with the characters that he plays, especially on the Luna. I would know that incredibly well if you played with him for the entire offseason. But the plus is that you get that amazing KO and that amazing goal potential. They find the KO early onto the X, and now they have that power play to play with. But they need to be careful because they do have an open goal barrier, and Zaxmac does have that flip to clear it out straight to Carmine if need be, kind of keeping Merchant in a check, kind of in his own goal box for now. Dropleto now with the Stinger, trying to keep damage onto Carmine as much as possible, and Carmine looking for the KO with that Giga Blast, but not quite going to find it. But the X Maximus does, as he takes away Dropleto off of the pitch. Now Merchant needs to find a clear here, and he does, away from Zaxmac's flip, and he has to use a flip zone for the slime. They need to be careful now. Streak with the clear, going to be taking it out for now, but the Bozo Bunch need to be careful, but they find a KO onto WEeeee, who tries to find the KO on the Merchant. Everything is going crazy here on this NASL day. The Bozo Bunch are in a commanding lead yet again, but they just cannot find this goal. Zaxmac is holding it down over and over again, and WEeeee finally respawns for now. Carmine now going down. It's another power play for the Bozo Bunch, who are just finding so much core control, so much presence, but they need to get this goal or else it will be for nothing, and they do, as Dropleto gets the hit stun onto Zaxmac from behind, and the core rolls in from Streak.
KOs flying left and right thanks to that Luna and that ZENTARO, and that now as well from the side of Bozo Bunch, all working together to knock everybody off the map. And that's exactly what you're going to see here. If you're the Bozo Bunch, you're playing more of that damage comp, and if that X is off the board, that's not very much of a brawler. That's all going to be standing up on you. And great job as well here coming out from the side of Bozo Bunch, just forcing things forward.
Forcing things forward, getting both barriers, and that's what you get when you have Merchant on your team. You have that Luna forward to fly in and secure everything that you can't secure yourself, as Dropleto and Merchant work together to get both goal barriers. Not quite able to find the goal, as a great stop from ZachSmack on the goal line manages to keep it safe for now, and they do find the KO now. Dropleto with the credit on the flip, going to be taking out Carmine, who some say the star of Weee's Little Bees here. Going to be tough without him, has the power play, needs to be held by ZachSmack and WEEeee. They're doing a great job so far, and they managed to hold, showing they can do it without him. Carmine now back online, going to be giving Weee's Little Bees a little bit more firing power and a little more core control with that Giga Blast, taking out Merchant actually, and getting the power play back again for Weee's Little Bees, who now on the other side are trying to find the goal here. WEEeee looking for the hit stun, looking for everything he can, but Streak used to be a goalie himself, and he's showing why he was. Does a great job to hold it in time for Merchant to come back to fly in and get that goal onto the top side. Set win for the Bozo Bunch. Going to be securing them that first pick.
That entire set looks so, or that entire point looks so powerful in the side of Weee's Little Bees, but ultimately Merchant was able to get that respawn and came right out with that boost to just knock the core straight in the net off of a little fly ball. And we're gonna see Bozo Bunch rewarded with that first pick here. We're gonna get explosive entrance locked onto Dropleto, that twin drive locked onto the now for Streak as well. This could be pretty big here. You got that extra dash range, you got that extra secondary more heals coming out from Streak, and honestly, that big fish isn't gonna matter too much since that Deadeye got taken away, but I think both teams got a really good draft here. We got that adrenaline rush, has been catching a lot of stray kills here. Carmine with that Kai is going to be able to get some more of that damage, and KOs are flying already, and all sorts of damage and stuff is coming out from that draft.
WEEeee getting that adrenaline rush proc off right after he gets it in the draft, so definitely seeing the value, but not quite able to get both the barriers here on the power play. Great stop from Merchant here on the other end to keep things safe for now. Looks like the Bozo Bunch are going to try to slow things down as much as they can with this core. Dropleto, with that Dash Awakening on the last draft, going to be giving him a lot more tools to play with as the ZENTARO here. WEEeee trying to find another KO, but not quite going to be able to get it, as Streak gets a great evade to keep things safe for now. Merchant with the ultimate and with the strike, going to be getting things opened up for their team, as both goal barriers now for Weee's Little Bees are open. Streak now needs to be careful. He might get taken off the pitch, but no, it's actually going to be Carmine getting taken off the pitch, but Streak does end up going down, and the adrenaline rush from WEEeee going to be working out here. But Dropleto with a great ultimate, a great Oni's Blade, going to be getting the strike reset onto the bottom side, allowing him to get that goal. So great job from Dropleto to recognize that he needs to score now.
Yeah, Dropleto catching that core, catching the Blabo off guard, using that special and just forcing the core into the net. Even with the teammate off the board, the KOs here are going to be really powerful. I think it's going to be who can get those KOs first, and if not who can get the first KO, who is going to be able to use these kills and these power plays to their full potential. As we saw in the last point, ultimately it was Bozo Bunch that was able to close that one out on the power play, but WEEeee has been getting a lot of these stray kills, a lot of really good bull rush into X Maximuses, and these kind of spots are where you really want to be paying attention. And just like that, they didn't even need the kill, and they got it straight through.
They got it straight through. Merchant, not really any abilities to play on the defense there. WEEeee with a great shot placement, going to be getting that goal, tying it up at 1-1. As you were saying, these KOs, I feel like, are definitely going to make this series, at least this first game, as WEEeee finding so much space with this X Maximus, now getting that second barrier, and might actually get the goal here. And a great pass up to Carmine, separating up the defense there, completely splitting them in half, and getting it right through with the shot. Well done to Weee's Little Bees finding that little play.
Yeah, I think Weee's Little Bees is doing a really, really good job of just working together and kind of pushing the other team into a position that they can't handle. Because ZachSmack, with that Juno, has a lot more liberty in just going up and playing a lot more of that offensive playstyle and just helping out the teammates.
Helping out the teammates is Merchant now on the other end, getting that core forward and allowing Dropleto to get the free shot of his life on the bottom side. These points are going quick, Potet, so we're going to have to keep up here as this fifth point of this second set is starting. Shriek now has that core flip, so they need to watch out. They might look for a little play here, but no, has to use it on defense because of a little bit of an unfortunate bounce, rather, on the defensive side for Merchant. Bozo Bunch now needed to get out of this corner, but WEEeee is hunting for that X Maximus. I can feel it. He's waiting for the opportunity to go forward, and there it is with the primary going to be taking out Streak and getting that adrenaline rush on the board, allowing them to get that power play. Now they're looking for the second barrier here. The barrage going to be doing everything it can, but a great flip from Merchant, going to be digging it out for now, but there's only so much you can do, and actually that's going to be clearing it for now. Merchant with the extra size and Dropleto with a little bit of help, going to be clearing it completely from that power play. So well played to Bozo Bunch to clearing it there and getting their team just a chance to win this set. Carmine now taking a lot of damage. Needs to be careful as Dropleto is looking for the KO, but not quite able to find the rush as both health bars running low. Carmine, no barrage. Dropleto now getting healed by Streak, going to be helping a ton and getting that orb as well. He is not actually staggered. That is the bug coming in, so needs to be careful. A great little flick from Dropleto. Not quite going to be able to find the barrier. Zaxmac is covering absolutely everything and has been playing pretty good defense the last couple points as well for the Weeeee Little Bees, and that's all the time that Carmine needs to put it in the top corner after a great dribble on the top side. Merchant just had nothing to cover that.
A very intense situation there, but ultimately, with that second 0.5 of the two sets that we've seen, we're going to see Weeee's Little Bees have been able to close this one out, and now we see some pretty strong awakenings on the board. It looks like we are going to see that recovery drone coming out for WEEeee, that more size, more damage, not more damage, but more cooldowns with that adrenaline rush scaling, and you're gonna have a big WEEeee just right in your face. As well, you also got Streak with that now, having more range on those cooldowns, more primary, more speed. So that's gonna be pretty big here. And Cast Less as well for Carmine coming out is gonna let you have that speed for just a little bit longer. That blazing pace is going to last for a decent while for you.
There's one thing, though, that we didn't manage to talk about is actually the hot shot coming in for Merchant, which gets both the goal barriers right off the bat, but WEEeee actually comes in with the help, I believe, of a Giga Blast, managing to get that KO, putting them in a great position to get both barriers, which they do. Now they need to be careful as the core is going right past them as Zaxmac, the great little play, jumps forward, abandons his goal, puts all on the line, and manages to find that goal, pushing it straight through Merchant and Streak.
As you said earlier, those cores are flying into the net. These
there it is again.
Going so fast, and already off the kickoff, we're going to see that first barrier go down, but that Cowboys angle going to prevent the second. And right now, it's all up to these teams. These core is going insanely fast. The goals are just flying, and these kills are really what you want to see here, because with these fast goals, that WEEeee recovery drone really just taken out, all of this speed, so much happening in just a short amount of time. These teams are really going flying.
Teams going flying, people going flying left and right, barriers going flying as they both go down now for Weeeee Little Bees. They need to be careful as there's an open net, but Zaxmac is getting taken incredibly low by the Stinger ZENTARO, so needs to be careful. WEEeee buying enough time and space with the adrenaline rush threat there on the X Maximus. Going to be getting that last barrier for the Weeeee Little Bees, who managed to turn some things around here as Dropleto tries to find the KO into Carmine, but Carmine is just not going down yet as Streak and Merchant kind of playing double goalie now for just a little bit. Keeping things safe is Zaxmac as well. Merchant now on the top side with Dropleto, going to be getting it right through as Zaxmac just has no abilities to hit it back through. And a great little play from the goalie in the forward on the side of Bozo Bunch, tying it up at 1-1.
A really good play from Dropleto and Merchant, just working together, getting the core straight through that Zaxmac without any abilities up, as you said. And this is really what they want to be doing here, is if they can just force the other team into a bad spot, if the Weeeee Little Beast have been doing a really good job of just forcing this core forward, but if that core is forward, then you don't have anyone back.
Don't have anyone back, and Merchant needs to be careful with that this game, but has definitely been doing a pretty good job so far. After all, it is really hard to just stand on top of the X-All game, so I would understand it if he wants to get out of there very soon and often. In this game, the hot shot helping him keep the core forward as well. Streak kind of playing a bit more goalie and defensive this game just to keep things safe. Dropleto now keeping the core forward as long as possible, but it's so hard to do when you have a Juno Slime in your face every couple seconds. Streak now with great dribble off the middle, keeping things forward for now. Zaxmac might have to blow the flip very soon, but a great little defensive play from Carmine allowing him to keep that there for now. And a great Slime actually taking off Merchant from the field, and a great flip from Dropleto, almost getting the goal, but Zaxmac answers with a flip of his own, and it's going to be a small little power play for the Bees, getting that last barrier, but they might get the goal as well. Merchant does come back online, But they do still have core control. They do still have a chance. But a great play from Dropleto with the ultimate into the passive slash from the ZENTARO, putting it in the top side. And the Weeeee try all they might, but the Bozo Bunch are standing on top.
Incredible play from Dropleto there. I thought that would have been going out, but that passive just ended up pushing that core straight through in a situation that I did not expect. But the Weeeee has been doing, or not Weeeee, Zaxmac has been doing a really good job so far of just being where he wants to be, even though the character isn't there. And ultimately, when you're not there, though, that leaves some opportunities to mess up, and that core just went straight through. In the end there, losing that passive from Dropleto, but that's what you really want to be not seeing if you are Weeee's Little Bees.
Yeah, Weee's Little Bees need to be careful, and there we go. We're seeing it again. These cores are just flying around. It's really hard to keep track of them, especially when you don't have the abilities for it. Merchant now flying forward, trying to get the goal, but not quite able to find it as a great Luna ultimate going to be getting some evades through, so Carmine now might need to be a little bit careful as Dropleto looking, always hunting for that KO. Almost gets the goal, but a great save from Zaxmac on the other side. Going to be saving things for now. Merchant now with a great play of his own against Weeeee, who is out of abilities. Not going to be able to find too much now. And has been losing a lot of the strike wars too against Merchant. Merchant been doing kind of God's work as much as you'd expect a Luna to do against the X. And I suspect a lot of that is actually due to the size on to the Luna, just allowing the strike range to be a little bit easier to go for against this X in your face. So lots of plays coming through from both sides here. Dropleto not quite able to find the goal here off that flip earlier. And the core going very dangerously close to the back of the net on the side of the Bozo Bunch, but another great save from Merchant on the goal line. We're just seeing it over and over again. An attempt from Dropleto into an attempt from Weeeee. Which team's going to crack first as we see a pass from Streak with that flip going over to Dropleto, but it's going to be the Giga Blast that actually breaks the stalemate, putting it in the top corner, and there's not really much Merchant can do when you're just getting sat on by an X.
Yeah, that core went kind of Mach speed there, all flying all over the map. Just like that, and Weeeee has been doing a really good job of just trying to keep that keep the core forward, but ultimately that size, that big fish, as you mentioned just a little bit earlier, onto that Luna from Merchant is going to be really, really useful in terms of an X that's just standing right in your face. He's going to have far fewer opportunities if you're Weeeee, and those strikes are super important with the character like Luna, so that little bit of exercise has been coming in so useful, and I'm excited to see how it's going to help out in the meantime.
How it will help out throughout the match, we will have to see, but right now both the barriers are gone, so Merchant needs to be careful, and he's getting bull rushed into the back of his own net, and there's nothing that he can do about it. Carmine and Zaxmac pave the way for Weeeee to secure that KO, and Carmine gets the goal credit to secure this third set in a very, very close one, I might add. And now they're going to get rewarded. They have the team player, they have the spark of leadership, they have all the choices in the world. What are they going to do here?
Yeah, it looks like we might be getting... I don't know what Zaxmac wants. However, we're going to see a team player picked up for Merchant's Luna. That's going to be a lot more core speed for you, going all over the map. And we're also going to see Monumentalist picked up from Zaxmac now to block off streaks now. Monumentalist now was nerfed a whole lot, but ultimately that Monumentalist Awakening is still super powerful on her. And then also on the same side, actually, we're going to be able to see Carmine with that Reptile Remedy has more stagger scaling as well with that bulk up. So this could be pretty interesting to see how he uses this, because now it's going to be a lot harder. That Kai is kind of like a brick wall in terms of health, and so it might be pretty difficult to kill just like that.
Yeah, Carmine, all the health in the world, gonna be able to survive and basically play his game as much as possible. Always nice when you're playing Kai and you don't really have to worry about getting KO'd too much. But Dropleto does have a lot of damage, and there is still a Luna, so you have to still respect it overall. But it seems like they're changing targets here. Weeeee gonna be staggered immediately, has to run all the way back for the orb, and now the Bozo Bunch have a little bit of space to play with here. Streak now bringing it up to that top corner. Dropleto just waiting for abilities in order to do something here, but a great play from Weeeee, keeping that core forward as much as possible, but they're going to clear it for now. As Merchant actually goes down another Giga Blast. I mean, Carmine just has the craziest Giga Blast I've ever seen in my life. I mean, some shades of Vaughn here on, shades of Prime Vaughn with these Giga Blasts here on the Kai. Doing so well, allowing the KO, allowing that last barrier to go through, and now that the power play is over, Carmine has the flip in order to secure this goal, and there it is. Finds the pass on to Weeeee, who finds the top angle in return for that pass. So almost a great save from Merchant there, but is not going to quite be there in time as WEEEE are starting to take away with this game.
Carmine is taking up such a massive presence in this game. It feels like he's not really the size of a bee, but maybe like a human-sized bee, if I had to say, because Carmine has been doing a really good job, as you said, with those ultimates, with those Giga Blasts, just forcing the core, forcing the other team, into the walls, and just like that. And this is really what you want to see here if you are Carmine, getting those kills, getting your team some kills, especially with all of that extra damage that you're going to get from that bulk up. And you really want to be doing that if you're Carmine.
Yeah, you definitely want to be getting these kills with the Giga Blast, but those are really, really difficult to get over and over again, and he's doing great on the core controls, so Carmine trying to lead his team to victory here. ZachSmack kind of been quietly helping out from the back as well. These Slimes definitely getting a lot of utility out of Streak and making Merchant's life way harder as well. So well played to him, and Weeeee just being a menace right now, as we can see. These bull rushes and these X-Maximus is almost getting these KOs over and over again. And with the Adrenaline Rush, it's been a threat all game. We're just waiting for Bozo Bunch, see if they have anything in them to get out of this defensive stalemate here. It feels like the flip from Merchant going to be getting things for now, but it seems like Bozo Bunch just cannot find the core control they need actually to get out of here. It seems like it's just the Carmine show, and with the core over and over again. Dropleto, though, does have the flip here, and he might be able to find something if he can get to the corner. And there we go. We find the barrier, and we find the primary with the flip, and that's what we needed. That's what we said for the Bozo Bunch to come back in this game. It's 1-1 now in the fourth set, with Dropleto getting that goal credit.
Both of the brawlers had their flips up for so long, and it just provided so much pressure, and it kind of scared off the goalies. You know, it made it a lot more difficult for them to defend, because you know you got that flip right in your face, and ultimately that's what ended up helping Dropleto get that goal into the net. And now we're gonna see the energy has been super strong from both of these sides, but it's really gonna be up to seeing what Carmine and we can do with these, because we already saw Dropleto get that flip going, but now Carmine has that flip up, and I'm interested in seeing how this is gonna turn out.
Oh, there we go. We're seeing it right there. Carmine having to use it for defense, trying to keep things forward as much as they can for now. They are getting a lot of the core control this game overall, and a little play from Dropleto. They're actually almost at the primary, getting that last barrier, but ZachSmack getting back to it on time. The momentum boots and all the speed from the Juno going to be helping out 100%. And I can't believe Bozo Bunch are actually saving this, forcing out the flip from Weeeee, and actually saving the flip as well, and saving it again, third time's the charm. It does not even matter. They're saving everything. Merchant just spacing everything he needs to do, and Streak helping him out just enough to keep this core out of that barrier, which had no business being still up. Another great save from Merchant, keeping it from the bottom side there. Dropleto now taking advantage of the core, going to be getting that last barrier for himself. Streak with a little bit of an off dribble there, almost giving it away. But a great play yet again from Dropleto, the primary down to speed up the core, and then uses that momentum to put it in the top side. Well played to Dropleto, puts his team up 2-1, and now is giving them a chance to win this fourth set.
So Bunch played kind of insane there. They just didn't let that core open up their bottom barrier, and you know, Streak with that goalie blood was super effective as well in that defensive line, just helping out Merchant, keeping the barrier alive. And right now they do lose the barrier, but ultimately that ZachSmack taken off, that's that recovery drone taken out, and Bozo Bunch is looking super comfortable here in this point as both barriers go down for the side of WEEEE.
Yeah, WEEEE need to be careful here. They are back on the field here, but I think Bozo Bunch might have found a bit of a strategy in order to beat them. ZachSmack has a normal amount of health. Dropleto does have the damage to KO him, and with Weee's recovery drone going down as well, they can look for these KOs, and there it is. Dropleto finds that KO onto Weeeee, and getting them a little bit of a power play here on the bottom side. Merchant now bringing the core up with Streak. Great pass to Dropleto, who wins the strike war on to the top side, and they are going to secure this set. It is going to be a set 5 game Bozo Bunch versus WEEEE. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but here we go. As we get into the draft, there's a lot here that we can take.
Yeah, that whole set was kind of a a skill showcase from the side of Bozo Bunch, and now they're going to be rewarded with some pretty good awakenings here as soon as they pick them up. But we are going to see Carmine getting that extra special, using those Giga Blasts. We've seen them get like 4 or 5 different kills, if it's only that, But we're also going to see Dropleto gets that specialized training, is going to be able to deal some more damage, provide some more pressure onto Zaxmac, onto the defensive line of WEEEE. And I think also that prime time for Merchant, that primary is probably one of your best defensive awakenings, or that primary is just one of your best defensive abilities. There we go. If you are that Luna goalie, and so that prime time is going to be really useful to have up. Just lets you play both offense and defense at the same time, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're Merchant.
Definitely what you want to see, and I think everybody kind of getting what they want. Carmine, with how many good Giga Blasts he's had this game, I'm definitely a little bit scared for Bozo Bunch with that extra special, and there's Weeeee with that extra size and that adrenaline rush now getting procced off of that KO, going to be putting the Weeeee into a commanding position here, getting that power play, getting that last barrier, and getting the goal all in one bit. The triple emote flash, they're all happy to see it, up 1-0 in this 5th set now. Looking to secure this game quick here, and I think Bozo Bunch need to be careful if they get taken off the pitch. I feel like the Weeeee are just having these great power plays, and there we go. Yet again, these Giga Blasts have been on top all day, and Dropleto now needs to stall as long as possible with Merchant before Streak comes back online. They have a couple seconds. They're going to be losing one barrier. Will they be losing the second one? No, Streak comes back, and now they can finally play the game again, but then they just need to be careful. These Giga Blasts are dangerous, as we trying to find Dropleto there, but Dropleto getting out in time. The Slime with the Deadeye almost taking him off the pitch, but it's going to be safe for now. Getting that now ultimate and the orb are going to be topping him off, but Carmine and Weeeee getting taken a little bit lower, as Drop definitely has a good amount of damage, but not quite able to get the full KOs, as the amount of healing with the Reptile Remedy, and Weeeee just standing there grabbing every orb and getting every barrier too, and every KO with that adrenaline rush, just finding everything you need. And there's another Giga Blast. Oh no, it's all going downhill for the Bozo Bunch, but Weeeee with the primary actually getting his own barrier, but it's not gonna matter. It was just for the fans, as Carmine puts it in the bottom side anyway, and they're up 2-0. Set game point here for the Weeeee.
That was such a crazy set. Weeeee just fighting their win condition and taking it as far as they possibly could. That massive extra standing up right in your face if you are Merchant is very scary, and Weeeee has been doing a really good job just sharking the entire time. Maybe he's not a shark, but he's a bee, just covering the entire barrier. Now both barriers down. Ooh.
Merchant getting that goal there. I mean, crazy point there. Everything kind of just went down immediately, and then that hot shot rocket was just too fast for Zaxmac to react to, and gets the goal credit on that. And now we're up again as we get yet again an explosive entrance start on the ZENTARO, getting both of the barriers. Streak needs to be careful though. He's been getting taken out by these Giga Blasts and by Weeeee all game, and now both the barriers are going down for both teams here. Dropleto has the flip. They have everything here. They need to get this goal if they want a chance, and there it is. Another quick point, another 20-second one to be exact. If Dropleto getting this goal with the help of Merchant and Streak, it's now going to be a set 5.5.
This is some crazy game going on right now. We've seen these players just pop off, have so many really great moments, and then all of a sudden the other team has their time in the limelight, as the Bozo Bunch has managed to score 2 goals in such a very short amount of time onto the side of Weeeee, and now both barriers down for the side of Weeeee. This is putting them in a very scary spot, even with that massive X all up in Merchant's face.
And needs to be careful. Zaxmac running forward has to be a little bit careful, as Dropleto has that explosive entrance, but going to be using that secondary for now. Weeeee looking incredibly low, but does have that recovery drone. Merchant with the core flip, going to be feeling pretty safe, and I'm a bit scared for Weeeee as the core flips on the side of Bozo Bunch are looking frightening. They're looking scary, as Dropleto trying to do it so without it. Streak now going to be getting a core flip in that bottom corner, and a great pass up to Dropleto, going to be putting it right past Zaxmac, and it's not going to be enough for Weeeee as the Bozo Bunch managed to clutch up. They managed to secure the game in a set 5.5 banger. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for the second one now. I did not expect this to be such a crazy series, but here we are, the Weeeee and the Bozo Bunch taking us all the distance. Now I'm going to be taken to a game 2.
A heart-stopping little final there, as Weeeee had such a great opportunity, and so did Bozo Bunch, and they took all of the possibilities that they could. And I mean, honestly, every single player played incredibly that time. Luna Merchant on the Luna was able to just keep that core away from the net. Even with WEEE just standing up in Merchant's face with all that size, all that pressure, Luna can't do a whole lot, and Merchant was able to just do so much despite that. Also, we saw Streak using that now. This was able to heal up his teammates, kind of force the pressure, force the damage onto the other team, onto the side of Weeeee, rather than taking the damage themselves. And Dropleto, of course, got so many breakaway plays, got so many opportunities, and was able to take them all so very far. And then also, on the other side, we saw Weeeee, Carmine, had so many incredible Giga Blast kills. We got 6 there. We caught so many players on the Bozo Bunch off guard, got 7 kills, and just crazy game. Incredible play from both of the teams, and if that's game 1, I'm excited to see what game 2 is going to happen, what game 2 is going to look like.
We'll have to see. It is going to be on Inkies, and we will be getting that draft momentarily, but looking back at the stat sheet, I mean, Streak putting up as many saves as Zaxmac, with Merchant still having more saves with the 94. So combining, they had more than double the amount of saves on the other side with a Luna goalie. And then obviously, Streak, such a defensively minded player. And this is what I think people have been excited for to see with this Bozo Bunch roster, right? Streak, a very, very defensive midfielder, used to play that goalie, definitely likes to dribble, keep core control, try to, I guess, slow things down and keep the core away from the enemy team as much as possible. And with Merchant, the hyper-offensive goalie, right, going to be jumping forward, trying to create these offensive plays, kind of that duo together. If they can mesh well, I think this team has a very, very bright future. And then the solo plays from Dropleto, who's just been a storied brawler in the league for such a long time. Very, very great solo plays, manages to win a lot of strike wars, finds a lot of these great shot angles, as we saw this game, securing 8 goals for himself. Just a very, very cool, I guess, evolution of the Bozo Bunch that I'm very, very excited to see more of. And guess what? We're about to see more of as well as we're going on to game 2 right now. It's going to be a bit different start with that bulk up as well. So looking at the size here, I'm expecting Rasmus, Kazan, some of these size characters, maybe even a Juliet for WEEEee, who definitely likes that character a lot. Lots of things that we could be seeing here, Potat.
Yeah, I'm maybe looking forward to. I know Merchant has those Vice and that Vice and that Luna as some of those bigger, more common picks for him, and so I'm maybe interested in seeing that built different here. Is a pretty good awakening on that Vice with all the impacts that you got, and of course, I'm pretty sure that the built different little picture is Vice's teddy bear or something, if I remember the lore correctly. So I'd be down to see the Merchant Vice coming out. I love the character on this map; it's super fun. But then also we are gonna see, to begin with the drafting, we got that Rasmus band coming out from Weeeee. So that size, super good on Rasmus. We're not going to see it here in this game. And then also, on the other side, we're going to see the second brawler band out from Bozo Bunch. That's going to be that Juliet. So also, once again, that size going to get taken away. And I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to draft out.
We might be just seeing the X repeat for Weeeee. Dropleto, excuse me, has a lot to play with here. There is a size start, so there's not too many other brawlers. Obviously, the main ones being banned here away. X, not my favorite on this map, and it's actually going to be a Drakkar lock-in for the Bozo Bunch. That might just go goalie, because I know Merchant does like Drakkar goalie on this map. Just with that shotgun, it feels a lot easier for him to defend compared to some of the other things. There's no way it's a Streak Drakkar midfield. I just feel like that's impossible. I don't think that's what's going to be going here. So I'm assuming that's going to be in the goal box, and then it will be a ZENTARO run back for Dropleto, who I'm very glad about it, but he's slowly becoming a ZENTARO one trick, rather, and I'm enjoying it. Instead of the X Julie, that stupid stuff, he gets to play the cool Chad, super awesome ZENTARO. God, he's so cool. I mean, I'm just kind of a fanboy right now, so I'll just let you take it away as we're seeing the Kai get locked in again, probably for Carmine.
I mean, this board guy might have a ZENTARO type named after him. All good. However, that Carmine or Zaxmac Kai, I think is going to be a very interesting pickup here as we see the WEEEee. I can only imagine that's the WEEEee Asher there coming out, and we're going to see. I'm interested in seeing what exactly it gets picked up between Carmine and Zaxmac. I know Estelle isn't as common as a goalie, but also she's really fun to play. Speaking from experience, so I'm very interested in seeing how this is all going to kind of turn out from the side of Weasel Bees. You know that massive bear that you got on this Inky Splash Zone map is going to look pretty interesting. And you really kind of want one of those more offense-oriented goalies, because that means that you're going to have more range to kind of protect the goal. However, on the other side, you got the rune pickup for, as you said, probably it's going to be a streak rune, and then that merchant Drakkar goalie, as we might expect. So this is going to be interesting. That ZENTARO from Dropleto certainly proved its mettle in the previous game, and now we got that Drakkar and that rune. Interesting characters. I can't exactly say that I think they kind of picked into the Awakening start too well, but at the same time, those characters are both really good either way. So we could definitely see something strong, something big happening here from both of these teams.
Yeah, pretty weird comp from the Bozo Bunch here. I mean, the Zen definitely is really, really nice for sure, but the Drek goalie is not something we see a ton. It's pretty much just Merchant that kind of does that nowadays. And then the rune on Inkies is definitely not a common one, but I don't think it's bad either. You have the Banish tool to play with the Splash Zone. Definitely can get you some kills or some pressure for sure, but I feel like I'm going to favor Weasel Bees. I mean, even with the Asher forward nerfs, I feel like it could still do its thing if you're just sitting on top of the goalie, right? And with Drakkar being the goalie, maybe he can find some sort of space here. And then the Estelle Kai, I mean, really, really good characters on the map in general, right? It has a lot of core control. You have a lot of, I guess, keeping the core forward potential. So we'll have to see how they use it as we're getting into the second game here in this best of 3.
Yeah, and it looks like that is gonna be that Zaxmac Estelle. So I'm interested in seeing how this is gonna play out. I love the character on this map, and so with that with that bulk up, you're gonna have a lot more life to live with. And I think Estelle, that's where she can kind of shine, using that extra stagger. But also, we're gonna see. Yeah, we got that Merchant Drakkar has that strike shot going, as well as some extra size, maybe help you win some strike wars. But already, we're going to see the first barrier go down, and this game's looking pretty strong already.
And there it is! That's my thing! Dropped, putting in the blick there on the bottom side. Beautiful play on to get that first point there for the Bozo Bunch, and Streak actually winning pretty much every single strike war there as well to get the core forward, and a great banish now, keeping that core forward here, showing us, I guess, why Rune could be good on this map. And one thing to note is that Merchant does actually take the build different here, and I believe that's just to help him keep getting the strikes against this Asher over and over again. And the impact damage is going to help as well, but what also is going to help is your forward, Dropleto, just winning every strike war and scoring on everybody, as we see 2 goals quickly going for the Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, you got that water cannon kind of forcing the entire side of Weasel Bees into a bad situation. And I mean, that just leaves the entirety of the offense from Bozo Bunch available to get something like that going, where we see that barrier go down for the side of Weasel Bees. And once again, we got an open net, every single player from Weasel Bees on the defensive side, and ooh, this is scary.
This is definitely scary indeed. Zaxmac needs to find something here. He's definitely been struggling all game so far, and there we go yet again. Dropleto just gets it right past him, and Zaxmac had the flip, but he was just too late on the trigger there. It goes right past him, and it's the first set gone within a minute, basically.
That set felt like that just went by in a flash, and now because of that flash, I think we're going to see some pretty good Awakenings dropping down. We're going to see Zaxmac pick up that glass cannon, which means you got more speed, you got more damage onto your character, but at the same time, we've seen Dropleto and Streak both just attacking Zaxmac to basically no end. So this is going to be very interesting to see. We also are going to see that extra special come out for Dropleto here. That means you got more of those offensive pressuring situations, and against that glass cannon, I think it's going to be just a really good Awakening to kind of knock that down. Same with actually that prime time coming out from Streak. A little bit less damage on those pillars, but also you have so many more pillars to attack the other team with. And finally, some more picks is that stacks on stacks from Carmine is going to be pretty big. Got more speed on the board, but you got to strike the core first, and it seems like Carmine is kind of getting stuffed out a whole lot.
Carmine getting stuffed out, and it looks like we getting KO'd on the splash zone. Dropleto with a great blick to, I guess, situate himself to get that clear from Zaxmac and just hit it right past him into the other side. It feels like the Bozo Bunch are in a commanding position, yet again, they just cannot be stopped in this game. Merchant feels super comfortable against this Asher. I'm not sure if it's because of the nerf or because Drakar is just great into the character. I don't not really know yet. We'll have to see. As Merchant bringing the core up 2 streak. Now Carmine been a little bit quiet this game, and now he's off the pitch completely after a great little play from Dropleto using that flip to get the KO. But on the other end, the goal barrier is opened up for the Bozo Bunch, so they need to be a little bit careful. Merchant has to play a little bit more defensive. Great little banish going to be taking out Zaxmac. Merchant going invisible, scaring us a little bit, and actually getting the credit on the barrier there after the KO. So the the power play, going to be getting the Bozo Bunch another KO, and it's only a matter of time before this goes in, but Carmine trying to go for the heroics, and a great goalie play actually going to be allowing Zaxmac to respawn, and he saves it for now, and giving enough time for WEEeee to come back online, so the Bozo Bunch not able to get the goal on that power play, and allowing the Weeeee Bees to just get a little bit more chances over and over again here, but WEEeee cannot quite get the goal. Merchant's just hitting it away from him. Very, very hard for the Asher to actually score on this Drakar, who can just shotgun her away over and over, as Dropleto has a bit of an easier time against Zaxmac, but things are slowing down a little bit as the core gets put into the top side, forcing Merchant to get that core flip out. Here comes the water cannon again here, forcing Dropleto to evade, and WEEeee just cannot get this goal. Merchant is holding things like crazy, as Dropleto and Streak now have a way to opportunity to get this core, but Zaxmac has the flip. He should be okay. Merchant now keeping it forward on the other end. Now with the water cannon of their own, Carmine keeping it on the bottom side. Dropleto hitting it further into the cannon, so Carmine can't get a hand on it. And finally, WEEeee, with probably the 18th try, gets it past Merchant.
Yeah, you're talking about that matchup might be a little awkward for that Asher, but you can see there, even if it isn't awkward, that Merchant is playing that matchup super, super well, just preventing WEEeee from really getting any of these opportunities. And as soon as WEEeee gets the core, Merchant has been saying, no, it's my core now, and just taking those opportunities away. And that's really something that Merchant just shows. Merchant knows the matchup, knows what exactly he wants, and while his teammate does get taken out, that goal barrier isn't down quite yet, so I'm gonna see what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, power play for the Weeeee Bees, who are trying to get a bit of a resurgence in this game. Zaxmac trying to get a bit more comfortable, and a great little play with the barrage on Carmine, getting that barrier. Not really much Merchant can do there with no shotguns left in the chamber. Streak trying to bring it forward past Carmine, and he manages to do so. Dropleto now has an opportunity to get this barrier, but is able to get the core flip instead, which is definitely a good first step. Water cannon coming in, and it's looking a bit scary now for Merchant, who's forcing it on the top side, but he manages to defend for now, and a great banish. Gonna be almost killing WEEeee, but actually the shotgun for Merchant is gonna save him for now, and it ends up with the barrier, or rather the pass splitter, just keeping things out of the way, and Merchant unable to strike it. Bit of a weird play, but works out for the Weeeee Bees.
Yeah, we was finally able to kind of force that core into the corner, and when you got that Asher in the corner, you know that a goal might just be inevitable. And great strike so far there is, oh my gosh, I'm talking for too long, even with that 10-second goal, and already we're going to see Weeeee Bees taking the set in response against the side of Bozo Bunch, and now things are all tied up. Looking at this draft, though, I'm seeing some pretty interesting picks here. Zaxmac rewarded with that set MVP is going to be able to wait a little bit, I guess, let their teammates kind of figure something out, and already that fighter play is going to fall down to Streak on that rune midfield. Going to give more opportunities, and Dropleto, once again, just like in the last game, has picked up that explosive entrance. So this is going to be pretty big for the side of Bozo Bunch. Honestly, we saw Weeeee Bees win that last draft, or win that last set, but honestly, Bozo Bunch kind of picked up the better awakenings, in my opinion, and we got Merchant has picked up that Castellass has more opportunities, is going to be able to hide, sit in that Xeno cloak a bit longer, just for a bit more comfort.
Yeah, and also getting the debuff, as you can see there, how long that lasts with the Drakar ultimate as well. But I think the biggest thing on the pitch you talked about is that dash awakening on Dropleto. We saw it last game. It really just opened up the character, and it made him so much scarier for the Weeeee Bees to deal with. And we'll have to see if it's a bit of a mirror of the last game, but these points are going quick. This is probably the slowest point we've had in literally a set, as Dropleto has that core flip now in the corner. Going to be popping it a bit early, and it's not actually going to be amounting to much. Gets the orb to stay healthy, but Zaxmac looking a bit more comfortable now as he's settled into this game just a bit more, but Carmine now needs to be careful, looking incredibly low, getting an orb for now. Going to be playing in net, but a great little rune pillar there. Going to be getting that last barrier, and Dropleto now with the play, trying to get this last goal, or rather, as the barriers are down. The barrier up for Merchants, though, who's kind of just sitting pretty in the corner. Flip now from Weeeee, not going to be getting too much, as Carmine bringing it to the bottom side. They should be getting something here, and there it is. Merchant only has so much, but in return, Weeeee does go down with the flip now from Zaxmac, trying to get the goal, but Merchant hiding in the Xeno Cloak, not really sure where he is, but allows the Giga Blast actually on the other end. Merchant not even having a time to flip it as he gets stunned from the Giga Blast, just allowing the core to go right through. I mean, these points are insane. I don't even know how to cast these points. Just absolutely everything is going awry for both teams until the core randomly flies in. Inky Splash Zone, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Inkies is where the things that you know and love kind of go to rest, and now we are seeing in that last point we did see some really good defense. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's just in. Oh my gosh, Dropleto. I'm just trying to talk, and the core's already in the net. Dropleto didn't need to use flip, didn't need to use passive, and already Bozo Bunch has responded with a goal of their own.
Goal of their own. Some of these quick plays for both sides, just back and forth. Who can find that opening first? Who can find that explosive little outplay? Depends on who's going to take the point. Dropleto trying to get one of his own, but Zaxmac layering the abilities very, very well, keeping it away for now. But now, out of abilities, needs to be careful as the flip from Dropleto could be dangerous, but going to be blowing it to try to KO the Carmine, but not quite able to find the KO, so going to be wasted as Merchant keeping Weeeee away for now. The inevitable force of Weeeee slowly walking towards Merchant over and over again, only to get repelled over and over again, just waiting for an opportunity to get this barrier. But Dropleto now looking incredibly low. Streak gonna have to do some of the heavy lifting as Drop heals up. Zaxmac looking to KO and almost gets the piercing shot KO, but it's gonna be the banish that might get the KO onto Weeeee, but no, it's actually not quite gonna get it in time, and now Weeeee has the flip without Merchant with one to answer. So the Bozo Bunch need to be very, very careful here. Any little mistake could be their barrier gone, and Weeeee popping that flip going to be securing it for them. So now no barrier for the side of the Bozo Bunch, and with the water cannon available, but no forward. I'm not really sure if they can score, as here comes the water cannon, but Carmine might try to do it all himself, and he actually gets the KO on the invisible Dracor with the Giga Blast, and he puts the core straight past him. Carmine with the solo play.
Carmine, Kai, and Giga Blast might just be a match made, and right there, even catching the Xeno Cloak, catching Merchant in that Xeno Cloak, was able to get that kill, get that goal, and now we're looking at Weeee's Little Bees up in the set, but I'm talking for too long. Dropleto, every time I try and go on a tangent, it's just cutting me off, and now 10-second goal. Bozo Bunch have once again just responded likewise, and now we're all tied up. Sets, points, it's whoever's game right now, but whoever's going to win this draft is going to be looking very, very comfortable. I think this draft could be very big for in terms of the rest of the game. And then Carmine, with that flip gone, is going to have a harder opportunity getting it through that Merchant goalie, but ooh, really good defense so far.
Yeah, great defense from Merchant, who not only defended the barrier, but also completely broke all of the stagger off of Weeeee with the help of the banish from Streak. So well done to the Bozo Bunch to keep things safe for now. And like you were saying, Dropleto sometimes just has these crazy shocker moments, right? Dashing, calling out one thing that Zaxmac does, and he ends up taking not only the barrier, but the point as well. So just one flash of brilliance from Dropleto will just allow the Bozo Bunch to win this point. But now that the power play is over, it is the chance for Weeee's Little Bees to do something here, but not without anything to be said about it. Dropleto now using the flip, but not going to getting much for it. Merchant keeping the goal barrier safe for now, as the goal barrier is down for Weee's Little Bees, and need to be careful as Weeeee in the corner, just not quite able to do anything. Oh. And Dropleto going to be setting up Merchant, who actually gets the accidental ultimate with the aerials range and the strike shot range. Going to be spitting on the core cross map from downtown, putting it in. That's the second set win, and they are now one set away from winning this series.
What felt like nowhere an incredible Molten Bolt from Merchant, as you said, and now we're going to see Merchant rewarded with that team player pickup. That's going to be so much more core speed for your side, and so many more opportunities to just get the core away from you. However, what I'm also seeing is that Zaxmac has been able to pick up that hot shot, a really good awakening onto that Estelle. Carmine is going to have so much more speed between that Castellas, or not Castellas, sorry, between that Twin Drive and the stacks on stacks. So many more opportunities to just run circles around the other team. So this is going to be very interesting, though. And oh my god, Dropleto, stop cutting me short. This is the third one in a very short time period, and Dropleto already scoring in 4 seconds.
Weee's little bees screaming at you to stop trying to do your job right now, as Dropleto just shutting you up every time. A 4-second point there for the Bozo Bunch, who managed to just win the kickoff and then win the entire point right after a great little banish to get Carmine onto 1 HP now. But Zaxmac does answer back, getting that barrier, and Weeeee winning a strike war, crucially evening them up here at 1-1. It feels like this game just, both teams just waiting for one thing to happen, and then everything falls apart. But one thing I definitely want to notice is on both ends, the goalies could be the forces to create that. You do have the hot shot, which increases the core speed on Zaxmac, and then you do have the team player on Merchant to yet again increase the core speed to make these plays happen. So I'm looking at the goalies here as the point goes a little bit slower. As I say that, you know, it's only been 20 seconds and there's no goal yet, so definitely slower than it has been. Carmine looking incredibly low. Zaxmac needs to be careful. He's playing a little bit too far out of his net, but looks like he has everything handled. But no, he does not, as Zaxmac not there, and Carmine the only one to cover it, but it doesn't matter because he's staggered, and Dropleto just puts him in the back of the net with the core.
Where I think the past 2 sets we haven't seen the point timer go past 30 seconds there, and already Dropleto, using the fancy little tech, is going to be able to open up that barrier for the Weee's little bees, and already going to be able to score that goal. Dropleto, a masterclass in that rushdown game mechanic, and already Weee's Bozo Bunch is going to be able to close out that game. That the last 2 sets took probably 10 minutes, or no, probably like 3-4 minutes in total. I mean,
15-minute Inky Splash Zone game, ladies and gentlemen. And if you couldn't tell after what just happened there, Bozo Bunch won. That just happened. So Bozo Bunch did just win 2-0 against Weee's Little Bees, who started to come back a little bit in that game, but they really just could not quite find their footing. Dropleto with an absolute masterclass, 9 goals, 32,000 damage in 15 minutes, which is insanely crazy. He's buffing up his damage per minute stat with that game right there. And man, just warming my heart to see such beautiful ZENTARO gameplay. Well done to Dropleto and the Bozo Bunch, securing that 2-0. Weee's Little Bees had a great first game, but they just could not quite find their footing on the Inky's Splash Zone. So, I mean, that's going to do it for us. Anything else you got to say about the match here?
I mean,
I don't even know what happened.
Look really good. It felt so close, and then it felt so far. Because we saw quite a few times after Dropleto got those really fast goals, Dropleto just ended up, or the other side ended up closing it out. Like Weee's Little Bees, I think, got a 12 or something second goal right after Dropleto's 4 seconds. So it was a very much back and forth game, but ultimately Dropleto has just shown why he has been in the league for so long, and why he knows what's happening. He knows what he has to do, and he ended up locking so many goals down. That 9 goals, 1 assist, with that being the only assist possible in the game. So incredible performance from both of these teams. But Dropleto, oh my gosh, just looks crazy.
Hey, looking crazy, and I love to see it. As great start for Bozo Bunch. Now 2-0 on the season. Weee's Little Bees 1-1. Still respectable, especially from a team who a lot of people expected to not win a single game this season. So already have 1 win, and then put up a good little fight against the Bozo Bunch there, who now, as we can see, are on a bit of a tear. So we'll have to keep up with them next week and see what is going to happen, as that's going to be it for me and Potat here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for keeping up. We still do rather have one series, and it's going to be the EKC versus Demons Raw. Can Demons Raw kind of step back up on their glory, or will EKC, now with their full roster back, going to kind of show everyone why they are still one of the best teams in this league? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the next series.
った日々説明のつかない